The overturning of America's ban on women serving in combat marks a milestone in a rich history of women in the military, from cross-dressing Civil War soldiers to cadets and pilots in the two world wars to the Iraq and Afghanistan war veterans who sued the Pentagon to let them fight on the front lines. Today's announcement is in some ways centuries in coming. The Post's Dana Priest helps explain how we got here and what it means.
The lifting of the ban on combat for women is really a revolutionary step, even though it's taking place in sort of an evolutionary way. And what I mean by that is women have obviously been in combat in the last decade in Iraq and Afghanistan where there were no front lines. But they didn't get the recognition often, usually, and not the promotions, because still in the military, being in the combat arms is the core of what the military does. So if we ever think we're going to get to the day where we have a female in charge of the Navy or the Army or the Marine Corps or the Air Force, she is going to have come up from the core of that military service, and you can't do that if you're excluded from combat. In the world wars, the front line was just so much better defined. But it's been evolutionary because the battlefields changed. And so women have been in harm's way in this last decade, and even before that when they were flying helicopters that would be shot at. I think the bigger change is recognizing that the culture can handle it. One of the big reasons that this had never taken place before is the idea that introducing women into an all-male unit would ruin their cohesion. And I believe that having watched women in close proximity with men on the battlefield has taught everyone that that's not the case, that building unit cohesion is not about gender. I think the other big cultural shift is the question of, is the country ready to see women soldiers being killed? The country has seen women soldiers being killed and maimed and you know, coming back on false legs and that sort of thing. So I believe the institution thinks that yes, the country's ready. Putting the genders together creates definitely some problems, and that is not going to change. But it's a leadership issue, and in making this change, the military is saying we can deal with these things. We're not going to pretend they're not there. We're going to deal with them some way.